Here's Satan! Rosemary's Baby, released in 1968 and is directed by Roman Polanski, who's behind such films like Macbeth, Chinatown, and The Pianist. And this film is starring Mia Farrow, who plays Rosemary, who is a character that has become one of the characters that I feel the baddest for, just in my history of watching movies. That poor woman. Rosemary Woodhouse is newly married and is moving into a nice Gothic-like apartment in New York City. And while they're moving in, they're befriended by an older couple that is pretty well off living right next to them, who don't seem shady at all. The film explores this young couple's pursuit to have a child. But during the pregnancy, Rosemary starts to suspect that there is some foul play going on with her pregnancy. You see, when she gets pregnant, she has a lot of pain, and she's told by this older couple and also her husband to, hey, eat this shake, or hey, take these pills, or hey, go see this doctor, and only this doctor. Don't see anyone else. And this doctor says, yeah, just listen to me, take some pills, don't read books. You're a woman. Don't read any books. It'll make you think more. Oh my god, the 60s. We'll get into all the misogyny that this film promotes here in a second. This film is regarded as a classic, not just in the horror sense, but just in film in general, because the movie is gutsy as hell. We go down certain roads that I didn't think that anyone had the guts to go down. But holy crap, for the 60s to do something like this, and this controversial? Cool. Way to go, Roman! This film explores so many different topics like women's rights, women's liberation, paranoia, Christianity, and the faults that they have. And also, satanic cults and rituals. Fun stuff like that. It keeps you guessing, too. There are several points in this movie where you think, okay, I think she's just being a little paranoid, it's all in her head, everything is fine, all these people are just fine. And then things start happening in the movie that makes you start questioning that. Going, all of this stuff started after they met this older couple, and after this older couple started forcing all of these, pills and brownies and protein shakes, if that's what they are, on her. Things are kind of lining up, but then it takes you back to, oh no, this is all in her head. You don't know what to believe until basically the last 10 minutes. And I gotta applaud this film for that. I love something that keeps me guessing, that keeps me on the edge of my seat, and with a pretty shocking and surprising, I don't know if I would say surprising, but it felt surprising ending. But poor Rosemary. I feel so bad for her, because this is her journey. I don't think there's ever a moment where she is not on screen. We are constantly watching her and watching her process, just being pregnant, being in this relationship. It's a struggling relationship. She's married to an actor, and she's constantly backing him and promoting him, even though he really doesn't do that much. And then seeing her go through a pregnancy where this is her first one, she's never been through one before, so that's scary enough for any new mother. But then also dealing with things like this sharp pain that she's feeling for several months, and being told by all of these male figures in her life, her husband, her doctor, her new neighbor across the hall. No, don't do that. You're just fine. I know what I'm talking about. Don't read any of these books. Don't educate yourself. Here's a nice prescription. The pain will go away in a couple of days. I felt so bad for her. I don't think this movie intended it, but I really think that this movie is a great dive into the mindset of someone who has been in an assault case or a rape case. They go through this traumatic event, but they feel powerless, and they don't feel like they can go to authorities, or they don't feel that they can go to someone in power who can make things happen or make things change. They're constantly being told by someone, well, what did you do to provoke this? Or no, what you're thinking, what's going on, it's fine. You don't feel any pain, even though you're in excruciating pain. Just ignore it, it'll go away in a couple of days. It's this voice just in the back of your head that's constantly telling you to, no, just shut up and just go about your day and just go about your life the way it was going before this event even happened. It'll probably just escape your mind eventually. And that is just, it's so wrong in so many different ways. Going through that experience of, being assaulted or being forced to do something that you're not willing to do, or being forced into a situation that you know something is wrong, but because everyone else around you is telling you that, no, 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 just do it, you'll be fine, just ignore it. That pain, that emotion of just being alone and vulnerable in there, I couldn't even imagine. I don't know if the filmmakers intended this to be a voice for someone that has been sexually assaulted or assaulted in any form, but it definitely is. First off, in the 60s, the delivery that they have behind those lines, at first, is absolutely hilarious. Rosemary is having this drug dream, and all of these people are standing around her, and she's tied down to a bed, and this weird creature is on top of her, and out of nowhere she goes, "This isn't a dream, this is real!" The delivery is terrible. It's hilarious. But then you actually look at the line itself, and the situation that she's in, and it's awful. Doctors saying, don't read books. Women read too many books nowadays. Again, delivery, it makes you laugh because you're so uncomfortable. And you're thinking, you know what? You like to think that this is, kind of how it was maybe back in the 50s and the 40s and the 60s. But things have changed nowadays, which, yes, things kind of have. But I'm pretty sure, and sadly enough, that this is probably still done today. Some people find themselves in abusive relationships or submissive relationships, and this film, at first, again, watching it, you're listening to all of these just corny, stupid lines, thinking, nobody talks like that. This is hilarious. This is one of the funniest movies I've ever seen. But then the more you think about this movie, and you think about the situation that Rosemary finds herself in, or finds her mindset in, and you just think, this is awful. This woman was assaulted, or at least she thinks she was assaulted. We don't know because we keep going back and forth with all of these misogynistic voices in her head, or being shouted at her to no, just ignore it, or just to go this way. This film turned out to be a lot more thought-provoking and a lot better than I thought it was going to be. And the film opens up and they're moving in and they're sitting down on a nice little picnic and it's nighttime and Rosemary just looks up at her husband and goes, "Let's make love." First off, if you are a person, never, ever say that. Because no one does that. After hearing that in the first, 15 minutes, I'm thinking this is going to be hilarious. This is one of those old horror movies that did not age well with time. But my God, it is still relevant today. Hell, even after the drug sequence when she goes, "This isn't a hallucination, this is real." She wakes up to see scratches all over her body. And she goes, what happened last night? And the husband comes in and says, "Yeah, so, yep, we had sex because, don't want to miss out on that baby time." Because they're scheduling it out, the best time to have kids. I don't know, we don't do that. Oh my God, you just openly admitted to having non-consensual sex with your wife, and you're just laughing it off. These characters are terrible. I think this film is fantastic. It keeps you guessing throughout the entire thing. It's based on a novel, which of course I have not read because, I just don't do that for my movies, but this thing keeps you guessing. We have a sympathetic character that you absolutely feel 100% for, and the ending is quite shocking. If you have not watched Rosemary's Baby, I definitely recommend it. I'm not going to spoil anything, but wow, I'm shocked that they went there, and I didn't think that cinema and filmmakers had the guts to go where they go in the end of this movie, so I definitely recommend it. I'm going to give Rosemary's Baby 4.5 out of 5 Blu-rays.
I think I see blue. He looks glorious.
That score was going to be lower, but after talking about it here, yeah, that score just bumped up in my head. Alright everyone, now comes my favorite part in my videos where I pick which movie I'm going to be watching next, so let's take a look. The Maze Runner! One of those post-apocalyptic young adult movies or books that were turned into movies. Yeah, young adults. I remember watching this movie over at a friend's house, and we're bored, we have nothing to do, and we're just scrolling through their TV, and we see them, hey, Maze Runner, it's up here. I've never seen it, everyone else had, but everyone said, oh, we'll play it for Caleb. So they played it, and by the end of the movie, I was the only one watching it, and from what I remember being pretty entertained and enthralled by it, but everyone else in that living room fell asleep. So here I am. I felt like a 3-year-old just sitting in front of the TV going, So we'll check out The Maze Runner. This is the first one, I think, in the trilogy. Yeah. Yeah, because the other ones are Scorch Trials and then the Death Cure-ness or whatever. But yeah, so this is the first one. We'll check it out next time. Thank you very much, Tiffany, for the recommendation of Rosemary's Baby. If any of you have recommendations of films that you want me to review on here, leave your comment below this video or go to my Facebook page, my Instagram, or my Twitter. Leave your recommendation there. And if I have access to it, I will watch, review it, and give you a shout out on the channel. So guys, if you've seen Rosemary's Baby, what did you think about it? Or if you've never seen it before and you stumbled across it because of this video, comment below, let me know what you thought about it. And as always, if you like what you saw here, if you like my take on movies, hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. Send your friends, send your family over here if they love hearing people talk about movies too. Have them subscribe and click the bell so you know the next time I post my next movie review. So guys, I will see you next time with my review of The Maze Runner. So in the meantime, be well, be good to each other, and go watch a movie. Take care, guys.